The movie begins in a submarine that's moving in the water. Black Manta informs Vertigo that they're approaching their destination, and Vertigo instructs him to keep going. He goes into a room and meets Deadshot, Julie, and Punch. Deadshot says he's ready for the mission, which Julie and Punch continue kissing. They ask Deadshot why he's annoyed and assume because he's not the team leader he always is. Amanda Waller appears on a screen and gives the team instructions. She says they'll be retrieving a flash drive that contains crucial information about their organization. Waller says they'll retrieve the flash drive from Tobias Whale. She instructs them to keep their heads in the game if they want to keep them on their shoulders. She ends the call and the team begins its mission. The submarine emerges from the water and flies above a train. Deadshot and the others land on its surface. They go between the two guards and kill a security guard. They kill two more guards as they enter the train. Julie uses her laser to kill several guards while they move through the train. They get surrounded, but she separates their carts using the laser. Tobias gets informed of what's happening and he gets ready. Deadshot and the others enter the room and kill the guards. Tobias emerges and easily knocks down Deadshot and Vertigo. Vertigo uses his ability to stun Tobias while Punch controls him and makes him kill himself. Deadshot tries to stand up, but Vertigo stops him. Punch asks what's going on and Julie kills him. She goes to Vertigo, who has retrieved the flash drive, and kisses him. Vertigo says he'll make a copy of the drive and use it to be rich. Deadshot informs him that Waller's listening and knows about his betrayal. She pushes a button that activates a bomb in Vertigo's neck and kills him. Julie begs Deadshot to help her and he shoots her in the head. In Gotham City, Professor Pig prepares to operate on Two-Face. Knockout and Scandal Savage break into the building and attack him. Scandal tells Pig they have a patient for him and Pig frees to help them. In the Belle Rev prison infirmary, Waller takes a scan that informs her she has cancer. Deadshot receives a teller and realizes it was rejected. Captain Boomerang makes fun of him and Deadshot hits him with his button. Waller enters with Harley Quinn and says they have a mission. She says they'll be working with Killer Frost, who accidentally froze her parents but shattered them because they maltreated her. Copperhead, a man who replaces his human parts with robotic parts, and Bronze Tiger, an ex-CIA agent who's an incredible martial artist, but vows not to kill innocent people. The team goes to a lab and a scientist inserts tiny explosives into their necks. Waller addresses them called Task Force X and informs them they'll be going on an off-record mission. She instructs them to find a man named Steel Maxim and says he has a card that she's searching for. She says their sentences will be reduced by a year if they are successful. She takes them to an RV and says they aren't allowed to stay at hotels. The team enters the RV and begins its mission. Meanwhile, the scientist walks to a strange building and knocks on the door. Silver Banshee opens the eye slit and then opens the door. A speedster named Zoom asks her to be nice to him and says he is their guest. The scientist informs them that Waller's trying to get information on this special card and shows them the information he has. He says the man Task Force X is searching for is an entertainer. The team arrives at Branson, Missouri, and parks in front of a strip club. Deadshot, Killer Frost, and Harley Quinn enter the club while Tiger and the others remain in the RV. Deadshot instructs Harley and Killer Frost to search for Steel backstage while he searches. In the RV, Copperhead gets bored and wants to walk outside, but Tiger refuses. He tries to strangle Tiger, but gets knocked down, and Tiger threatens him. Harley and Killer Frost emerge and say they didn't find Steel. While they're about to leave, the announcer announces a special dancer and Steel emerges. He dances for the audience, but sees Banshee and tries to run. Blockbuster stops him and Deadshot tries to attack him, but Banshee uses her scream to stop him. He knocks her down and stops Blockbuster from reaching Steel. Tiger and the others emerge and help in fighting Blockbuster. Zoom enters the club and knocks Deadshot and the others down. Deadshot's surprised to see him and he instructs Blockbuster to grab Steel. Harley drives in with the RV and knocks down Zoom and Blockbuster. They drive away and Zoom pursues them. Deadshot notices that Zoom isn't as fast as he usually is, and they make him hit a car as they escape. The team hides in the woods, and Steel tells them how he worked as Dr. Fate for Naboo. He says he watched over the special card that can bypass hell and sends its wielder straight to heaven. He says Knockout and Scandal deceived him and took it from him. Waller listens to the conversation and says he's telling the truth. She says Scandal's father, Vandal Savage, is involved and informs Deadshot that Vandal is an ancient caveman who gained immortality from a meteor. Waller instructs Deadshot to continue the mission against Vandal, and Deadshot says that's not what they signed up for. She says she needs the card and agrees to remove a decade from the team's sentences. Deadshot realizes he'll be free if he agrees and informs the others. They continue their journey while Harley drives and talk about if the card actually works. They discuss if they believe in heaven, and Tiger talks about how he's trying to make amends for all the evil he's done. They continue their journey and Waller informs them that Scandal and Knockout have an apartment in Denver. In Denver, Scandal informs Knockout that Vandal is on his way. Knockout steps out of the pool, kisses Scandal, and walks away. Deadshot and the team arrive at the building and Killer Frost freezes the windows. The guard steps out to see what's going on and she freezes him. Copperhead enters the vents and goes to Scandal's floor. He informs them that Scandal and Knockout are in the room and the team enters. They fight and knock down Scandal and Knockout. Killer Frost freezes the safe and Harley breaks it open. Deadshot retrieves the card, but a large aircraft arrives. Several armed men emerge and begin shooting at Deadshot and the others. They try to get the card as it moves around but are unable to. Knockout fights Tiger as the armed men try to shoot him. They inform Vandal that they can't get a clear shot at Tiger. Vandal informs them that Knockout is expendable, and the men begin shooting at her. They knock her down and Scandal gets angry and attacks them. The card gets to Deadshot, but the men shoot it away. Deadshot slides on the ice as he shoots the men and retrieves the card. The team gathers around the elevator and more men emerge. Deadshot says he has the card and Vandal emerges. He says he'll use the card to send himself to heaven if Vandal harms him, and the team slowly enters the elevator. Scandal begs Vandal to help Knockout, but he shoots her and instructs Scandal to get Pig on the ship. The team enters the elevator and Deadshot throws the card at Vandal. They begin to shoot at the team and they get stuck in the elevator. Copperhead uses his acid to cut the rope and Killer Frost freezes the cart before they crash. Zoom and the others watch as Vandal's ship flies away and Zoom says Vandal can disappear for decades. He runs to the ship and narrowly places a tracking device on it. He lands on a roof and begins bleeding from his head. Waller yells at Deadshot and the others for letting Vandal have the card. She says they should wish they find a sign of his ship, otherwise their mission is over. Deadshot steps out of the RV and leaves Harley in charge. He goes to Lacoma Academy to see his daughter Zoe. He enters her room but doesn't find her and sees her roommate. The roommate says Zoe is at a drug house but only smokes weed. Deadshot leaves the school and goes to the drug house. He sees a girl running and follows her. Some men try to rob him, but he easily knocks them down. Tiger emerges and says Deadshot is in trouble. He says Zoe isn't their mission, and a fight ensues. Tiger holds Deadshot and talks about how he lost his wife. He says Deadshot threw his daughter away, and Deadshot gets angry. They continue fighting and end up destroying the fire escape stairs. Deadshot and Tiger stand up to continue fighting, but Harley interrupts. She says Waller is angry, and Deadshot realizes that the girl that was running isn't Zoe. He talks to Waller, and she places Tiger in charge. The team continues their journey and stops at a gas station. Tiger says they'll rest, and everyone except Deadshot leaves the car. Killer Frost goes to the bathroom and gets attacked by Banshee. She traps Banshee with her ice, but Banshee frees herself and knocks Killer Frost out. Blockbuster emerges and carries her to their van. Deadshot gets a call from Scandal and she reveals Vandal's location. She hangs up the phone and cries beside Knockout. Deadshot sees what's happening, informs Tiger, and goes after them. He tries to get to their van, but Banshee screams at him and knocks him out of the road. The rest of the team arrives on a bus and picks Deadshot up. Killer Frost wakes up in a cabin and sees Zoom. She tries to escape, but he says he's a big fan and asks for a favor. Killer Frost says Waller will track her and Zoom says he can make that go away. Killer Frost agrees to help and Zoom tells her not to move. He phases his hand through her neck and removes the explosive device. Deadshot and the others arrive at the cabin and Waller confirms that Killer Frost is inside. Tiger says he wants to form a perimeter, but Harley runs inside. No one is in the cabin and Waller gives them 30 seconds to find Killer Frost, or she will detonate her explosive. The team goes through the house and Copperhead moves under it. Waller activates the bomb and Copperhead finds it on a gas cylinder. He informs the others, and they run out of the house as it explodes. Tiger gets pierced with several pieces of shrapnel and is gravely injured. Deadshot and the others go to Vandal's location and see that it is heavily guarded. They kill the guards and find Pig dead as they enter the building. The team sees Vandal, who reveals that he placed the card close to his heart. He says he'll die if anyone attempts to remove it, and he will use the card to go to heaven. Zoom and the others arrive and freeze everyone as they knock Vandal down. Zoom reveals he has a hole in his head and says Batman from another timeline shot him. He says he's using his speed to sustain himself, and Killer Frost lowers Vandal's temperature. Zoom phases through Vandal and retrieves the card. Vandal tries to collect it, but falls and dies. Zoom asks Banshee to kill Deadshot and the others, but she and Blockbuster suddenly freeze to death. Killer Frost betrays Zoom and freezes him. She takes the card and tries to leave, but Copperhead breaks free and attacks her. Waller realizes Copperhead is close to Killer Frost and detonates his bomb. Deadshot and the others break out of the ice and he picks up the card. Captain Boomerang knocks him down and takes the card. He tries to run away but sees Tiger at the front door. Boomerang hides the card and lies as he says everyone is dead. Zoom arrives and knocks them down. He beats Boomerang as he asks for the card. Tiger picks it up and Zoom says he'll kill him. He picks up a small knife and cuts Tiger several times. He slashes Tiger's throat and retrieves the card. Deadshot emerges and Zoom says he'll use the card if he kills him. Tiger uses a blade to cut Zoom's fingers and he drops the card. Deadshot shoots him several times, killing him. Deadshot talks to Tiger as Waller's helicopter lands. He realizes that Tiger's about to die and gives him the card. They both agree that Waller shouldn't have it, and Tiger dies and uses it. Deadshot realizes that the card can be used multiple times, and he picks it up as Waller enters. He gives her the card and says it's a cold world, as she asks why it's cold. Deadshot walks out of the building as a free man because he's completed his mission. Later, he goes to Lacoma to see his daughter. Zoe sees him and crosses the road to meet him. The end. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap that bell to be notified about our latest videos. We'll see you next time.